Hi guys, and welcome back to Net Game. Don't forget to subscribe and comment to be entered into our weekly shoutout. Now first up in this countdown is Kevin Durant out of Golden State. As we all know, Kevin Durant got a lot of hate when he was traded from OKC. But this barely affected KD as he went on to win 2 NBA championships. Back in July of 2016, KD had meetings with the Clippers, Celtics, Heat, and Spurs. This was, of course, before deciding to sign a $54 million contract for 2 years with the Warriors. Kevin Durant had a quick chat with Chris Haynes over at Posted Up about his contract with the Warriors. KD then went on to sign a $61 million contract for a 2-year extension. KD was asked why he took less money, to which he replied that he was a smart guy and wanted to keep things going. He looked at other players around him like Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, and Steph Curry and saw that they should also be making the most money that they could. KD was fine with taking a loss in his money as long as the Golden State staff was able to bring the other players back. He's just trying to play basketball and stack money. He's on his 11th season and making $30 million this year. But it is rumored that KD is looking to go somewhere else. He is one of the top players in the NBA, and he feels like he's being underpaid. KD says he just wants to make sure he's getting as much money as possible on his next contract. His plan is to stack money and figure it out. Another player who's making so much money he doesn't know what to do with it is James Harden. Harden and the Rockets made history back in the summer of 2017. This was when Harden signed a $228 million contract for 4 years. This will keep Harden a Rocket until the year 2020. This is the longest contract extension in NBA history. He definitely deserved MVP if you take out wins and losses out of the equation. Harden definitely deserves it as he's gone from role player at OKC to now the star player at the Rockets. Especially this year after averaging 36 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Rockets owner Lexley Alexander was astonished with James Harden's work ethic. He commanded his desire to win and passion to be the best. He recognized him as one of the most unique and talented superstars in the history of the game. His commitment to the Rockets organization, the city of Houston, and fans everywhere has made him the perfect leader as they pursue a championship. Next up, Mike Conley. In the summer of 2016, Mike Conley and the Memphis Grizzlies agreed on a $152 million 5-year contract. This was the largest contract in history at that point in time. This will allow Conley to make $34 million alone in 2020. Conley has played all 12 seasons with Memphis and is considered one of the best point guards in the league. The Mavericks actually met up with Conley and tried to get him to sign with them. But many think Conley is on his way out of the Grizzlies, which turned out to be true since he now plays for the Utah Jazz. Up next, PG-13. In 2017, Paul George demanded to be traded with 1 year left in his deal with the Pacers. He was then traded from Indiana to OKC for Victor Oladipo. After playing 1 season with Carmelo and Russell Westbrook, they came up short in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But coming up in 2018, Paul George was still one of the hottest free agents in the market. But then he signed a contract with OKC for $137 million that would keep them there for 4 more years. Around the same time the deal was made official, Russell Westbrook was throwing a party for the team. Paul George was actually singing up on stage when he told the fans about it. PG then posted a picture on Instagram with Russell smoking cigars and titled it "Unfinished Business." But of course this year they fell short again in the first round of NBA playoffs to Portland. Damian Lillard actually had one of the craziest shots to win the series that game. NBA's highest paid, Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry has been criticized for his past playoff performances. But after 14 seasons in the NBA, he made it to the finals and won. Back in 2017, Kyle Lowry announced that he would re-sign with the Raptors for a $100 million 3-year contract. This will keep Lowry in Toronto until the year 2020. There is no question that Lowry and Kawhi have become one of the most lethal duos in the NBA. Lowry could definitely be used to recruit Kawhi back this summer. When Lowry commented about signing his deal a few years back, he said that it was easy to choose Toronto because that's where his home was. Lowry just wants to make sure he's having fun, getting better, and winning championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Gordon Hayward. In July of 2017, Gordon Hayward shocked the NBA as he left the team that drafted him to head over to Boston and play for the Celtics. Gordon Hayward signed a deal with the Boston Celtics that would keep him there until 2021 for $128 million. What's even more interesting is that Brad Stevens' first coaching job was at Butler, and after 10 days of working there, his first recruit was Gordon Hayward. Hayward was only 17 years old when he got recruited, and now 10 years later, they meet again in Boston. Brad Stevens even went on to say that it's incredible to meet again with a player even 10 years later. When Hayward was asked on why he left Utah, even though he met with the Jazz and the Heat, he said that he felt more comfortable with the Celtics because of the coach. Hayward was also more comfortable with Boston because they had won 53 games last season. Even though he's been struggling ever since his injury, I'm confident he'll make his way back. If Kyrie decides to leave Boston, Hayward might be better off leaving too. Blake Griffin, folks. Blake Griffin. Now, the summer of 2017 was one of the biggest ever. At the time, the Clippers gave Blake Griffin a $171 million contract for 5 years. Now, this was partly due to Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan, as they brought tons of attention with Lob City. But Chris Paul ended up leaving that summer anyway. And the Pistons shocked the NBA when they traded to acquire Blake Griffin. And Griffin was actually offered a minimum of $34 million per year by the Pistons. Blake has definitely earned that kind of money, putting up 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game.